Hello, welcome to Gemstone Tarot, Saturday the 22nd, Sunday the 23rd, otherwise known as the weekend reading. Okay, we are using the winter weight because it's snowing somewhere. I know, definitely snowing in the north of England at the moment. It's a bit cold here, but actually not very significant. Cold and sunny though. Do you love a bit of cold and sunny? So, what do we need to know? What do we need to know for the weekend? What are you doing this weekend? Oh God, that's good. That's really good. What are you up to? Are you having a quiet one? Are you doing something you don't want to do? Are you fulfilling an obligation? I hate that. You know, when you sort of 2 months ago, someone said, do you want to do this? And you're like, yeah, I'll do that. And then it's coming up and you're thinking, why did I say that I wanted to do that? I don't want to do that at all. Yes. Ooh. Yep. I'm going to keep that reversal. Itchy nose, so I better have... Ooh. Okay. Q-tips a go-go. Oof. Oof. We begin with the 10 of Q-tips, the 10 of Wands. And for me, it's kind of Mercury retrograde is a burden. It just is. It's a burden that we must carry until the 29th of November, and then probably for another week after that or so. Oh, and we're in the sticky middle, aren't we? We're in that bit where, and yet, wearing the disgusting house coat again, can't help myself. We're in that sticky middle where it's hard to explain. It's just hard to explain. It's hard to think straight. It's hard. Things are a mix of kind of revelation, but also there's a slightly false narrative that goes on when Mercury's retrograde. And it's hard sometimes to choose between them and to know whether you're BSing yourself into the bargain. So there's a lot to carry on our shoulders. There's a lot on our mind. I think there's a lot of conflict and confusion and downloads, and you're thinking, oh yeah, that's interesting, but what about that? And it's a lot. It's a lot. But then we have these two cards, which I really like. We've got the 2 of Q-tips and the 3 of Q-tips, or the 2 and 3 of Wands. And this is about prospecting. It's about building up your reserves, being interested, looking at things that you want to do, being curious, being excited, letting it build. For some of you, you have an idea about something and you may feel pessimistic about it, but at the same time, it's kind of growing. So it's difficult. Sometimes you've just got to keep on keeping on. You know, if it's a project, or if it's an idea or a side hustle or whatever it is, or even a relationship, a friendship, you know, romantic relationship, it's hard to see the progress in the moment, especially if you're feeling a bit down, a bit disappointed, a bit meh. So how the 2 moves to the 3 and multiplies just gives you the idea that something is happening. While it's a little bit like when you plant your winter bulbs. You know, for a long time you're staring at a pot of flat soil, and it's difficult to believe that there will come a point when they poke through the soil, and then another point where they become flowers. Or if you're like mine, they nearly didn't do that because obviously they were out the back and one of the cats decided they looked like a really good litter tray. I know, managed to save most of them anyway. Good God. And the next card, which is the Sun, kind of favours this. So we've got the 2 of Wands, got the 3 of Wands, got the Sun. We've got this feeling of progression, but at the same time a feeling of meh and a feeling of what's the point, that kind of slightly low level feeling. Then we have a couple of interesting cards which may explain it. Ace of Cups in reverse. Ace of Cups in reverse is disappointment. It can be tears, it can be feelings, it can be relationship endings, you know, it can be all sorts. Feelings of loss, feelings of just sadness. And we get it with the Queen of Cups in reverse. Why didn't I know? Why didn't I know something? Why didn't I feel that this was the case? And the card that we get that goes along with that, which I really, really like actually, is the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is telling us that this is passage to something new. And it can be assisted by somebody else. It can be assisted by a friend. It can be assisted by spirit, you know, whatever it is. Someone else is in the boat with you. You're not in the boat alone, okay? You're not having to make the change and do it all yourself. There is support. But there is also the need to be in the boat, which I think is what we can feel. It's this, and it kind of get like this when it gets to the end of a year. You know, November is a bit of a tatty month. It's like, you're not really quite at the end of the year. You're nowhere near the beginning of the year. Whatever you thought was going to happen in terms of resolution probably hasn't happened, you know, and the weather in the Northern Hemisphere is, it's getting a bit dark and contemplative. So there's a feeling here of what have I lost? There's a feeling here of why didn't I know? But there's also this underground swell of progress and energy multiplying. And that's a lot to take on. It's a lot to take on. Let's have some oracle cards. What have we got? Itchy nose. Yeah, let's have those. I never remember the name of these. Shaman's Dream. Shaman's Dream oracle cards. What do we need to know, please? Ooh. Oof. Oh God. No, it's just that one. Okay, hang on. I'm going to need the book and my expensive readers. The Vanishing Mirror, Ego Sublimation. Do you ever wonder if your self-definition has become too rigid, too fixed around what you've come to learn, so that you contract your life into zones of safe versus unsafe? This is okay, but over there, that might be risky. Judgment, fear, self-righteousness, and overconfidence are only some of the traits that keep you from evolving. We're all products of our conditioning. Remember, this is a part of the human experience. Yet you are not meant to stay static. Seeking only what you expect, even if it appears ambitious, is still too narrow. You go nowhere when you hesitate to move out of your comfort zone. The comfort zone is so comfy. When you focus too much on yourself this way, you become a servant of the ego. It edges God out, removing the magic of possibilities, kind of what we've been saying with these cards. Imagine looking into a mirror and seeing only what you are now. If you can let your self-definition soften, moving beyond the veil to your potential, a magical emptiness exists where all things are possible. Look again. Who could you be? What would you see reflected if you allowed yourself to be other than how you define yourself now? Nothing less is required of you now. In this moment, let go of who you think you are. Allow a new you to emerge. You will recognize yourself as what you are, a partner in co-creation, in service to the divine. Doesn't it feel good? Gotta love that deck. Okay, there you have your weekend reading. Let me know what you're up to. Let me know if you're fulfilling boring obligations. Have a good old moan in the comments section, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.